Welcome to A Canadian Investing in the U.S., a podcast and YouTube channel focused on Canadians buying real estate with host Glenn Sutherland.
Welcome to another episode of A Canadian Investing in the U.S. This week, my guest is Esteban Andrade. Esteban, tell us a little bit about your background, and then we'll get into the topic.
Yes, absolutely. I'd love to tell you a little bit more about my background. I'm actually so glad that I'm here. Why? Because I'm a Canadian. I'm a Canadian citizen as well. Majority of my life, I grew up in Canada, and then I moved to the U.S. because I found an opportunity to work in Michigan. So I come from a background where I decided to go to university. I decided to go to Ottawa at Carleton University right after graduation, but I was by myself. I didn't have any, family members living at the time. Only maybe I had a cousin, but I was by myself. My parents were not there. I was 16 years old, going to university, or 17, and then I decided to do mechanical engineering. Mechanical engineering was kind of like the thing that I decided to do. Well, not at first, because at first I decided to do engineering physics. I thought I was this brilliant Albert Einstein kind of person, and then I figured out that only 19 people in that program were accepted. 19 for that year. Imagine, and in mechanical engineering had like 300 something or close to 500. And I was like, whoa, this is a very niche, very small group. So I ended up moving to mechanical engineering, and once I graduated, I decided to move back to Toronto, where I grew up most of my life when I was living in Canada, and got into the US. When I got into the US is really when I started, sparking that interest into investing into real estate, into doing things along with real estate. It was very interesting, the things that were happening in Michigan. I'm not sure if people are aware, but Michigan is its place, especially Detroit, where you'll find a lot of homes that they don't look right. Have you ever been there, man?
I've been to Detroit. Yeah. Mostly the downtown. I've been up to Dearborn Heights, and I've been on the downtown where the arenas and stuff are. I haven't really gone walking subdivisions.
Yes. Yeah. So downtown is very good looking right now. Like, they're trying to make it as good looking, kind of like any type of Chicago downtown style, or, well, not close to New York, but this type where, good shops, good restaurants, very well clean and everything. But then you go just a little bit outside of downtown, that's where you start finding it sketchy, and also potential real estate opportunities. Potential real estate opportunities with these properties that don't look too right. What I'm talking about is they're probably burned down. They're probably missing windows, missing doors, missing the front porch, whatever that is.
Some plumbing and electrical missing.
Yes, exactly. And that's what you find in Detroit. So I started really digging into that, and I was like, whoa, this is a world where I could potentially take advantage of, and I can do something out of this. Yep. So that's what I did.
Okay, so let's go. Let's just keep going with this. So you're looking at physical houses, and we were going to talk about virtual real estate. So how do you transition from one to the other?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that I learned when I was working at the job that I was working at that time, I was working for a car manufacturer. One of the sales manager actually that I had a good relationship with told me that he was a real estate investor, that he was holding into like 57 properties or 57 doors or something like that. And I was like, whoa. And of course he was, working at a very high level position. And I was like, whoa, so how do you do this? Where do you have these properties? And he told me that he had most of his properties in Michigan, but a vast majority of them were in places like Florida, Ohio, Philadelphia, and that he doesn't necessarily have to go and visit them or ever touch them. And I started, getting very curious, and how do you even do that? I started researching on good coaches or teachers or whatever that can teach me about that. I went and took the course of Meet Kevin on real estate investing. I took also some books that I read, of course, all the Robert Kiyosaki ones.
Yeah.
I started digging more into like, what's this? Like, what is this opportunity? And of course, when you start digging into these opportunities, you start finding out that there is also another world in the real estate wholesaling with real estate wholesaling. People that do this kind of like a middle person, and they just assign contracts and flip contracts basically to real estate investors, people like us, people like you. If you need a property to fix and flip, or you need a property to buy and hold, they can definitely do that. So I started noticing that a lot of these people were doing it virtually as well. Okay. But they were doing this very complicated virtual stuff, such as pulling huge amount of lists, huge amount of data, having to skip trace this amount of data, having to have a team of 2, 4, 6 cold callers to go and start cold calling, and then sift through the entire list again with cold text messaging and things like that.
Yeah,
and I
it's
was
very
like,
complicated.
it sounds like a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of work. So in my search of finding out really what's good out there, and trying to pursue entrepreneurship, pursue something outside of just my regular job that I felt a little bit confined because I wasn't using my entire potential, I started finding out that there was other areas that could potentially try out, Amazon, FBA, e-commerce, drop shipping, running all these kind of stuff that are out there and potentially make money out of it. So when I started really getting into real estate investing, I realized that I needed to acquire skills that truly would make this viable, because at the moment I was just an engineering position, and really never really had sales calls, or neither cold call or like sales calls.
Yep.
I was maybe trained very well in talking to people, and because I had previous jobs in talking to people, customer oriented, customer service, maybe just being a problem solver as a whole, because as an engineer you are, but not really selling, like not really selling your services, or not really kind of closing contracts, right? Closing deals.
Yeah. Okay.
And with that, you have to understand that there is different skill sets that you have to acquire in order to make this business well, which is the wholesaling business. And virtually, you have to do lead generation. You have to make sure that you have lead generation figured out, and that you get better at lead generation every single day. But you also have to make sure that you have a good sales process. So the sales skills, I'm talking about, the wholesale skills. And that's where I started kind of digging more into like, how are these wholesalers doing it? All right. How are these people that are virtually calling to another state that they're not living in? They're having a conversation over the phone.
Yep.
And they are actually acquiring properties or flipping contracts. And it was very interesting for me to, in the process of finding out, hey, what can I do with Amazon FBA? What can I do with e-commerce? All of this, that there was another area that I could potentially start with. All right. And I could potentially dig into, and that was to run digital marketing, which is basically Facebook ads and PPC, for different small businesses. And that idea was brought to me by a friend that is in Ottawa. And he was like, hey, I'm helping gym owners, such as Alex Hormozy is helping gym owners bring in bringing clients for the gym. And also I'm helping realtors. I'm also helping lawyers. Do you want to come help me and kind of help me generate leads for them? And I was like, whoa, hold on. Generating leads. All right. This is specifically something that I know that wholesalers absolutely talk about all the time. But at the moment, I was not really familiar how to even generate a lead. And I started getting into that. He started teaching me and giving me courses about how to generate leads from Facebook ads, from Google PPC, and for other industries that were not necessarily real estate investing. And then once I started getting grip on that, that's when I was like, I can fully combine what is real estate wholesaling and investing with these skill sets that I'm actually going into: lead generation through social media, through Instagram, Facebook, through PPC, Google, and get people that are interested in selling their property fast, getting their property, they have an intention of getting the property, get rid of their property, and they can come to me without me doing all this legwork of pulling lists, making sure I skip trace, make sure that that list is correct, making sure that I set up a dialer or VAs so that they can call, or even call myself, which is exhausting.
Yeah. And
go through all these people and having to talk with cold leads, giving you F's, U's, why the hell, why the fuck
why are you calling me?
Things like that. And I was like, I can get people to come to me rather than me going to them. And that was huge for me, because to be honest with you, I'm a lazy entrepreneur, but that means that I want to be as automated, as systemized, and
efficient
at things.
Yeah,
exactly. Right. And definitely make it effective at the same time. Right. So I was like, I can do this with I can do this with Facebook ads. I can do this with Google ads too. And that's where I started, like, in Detroit, digging into, like, how can we do that in Detroit? Who's my first guinea pig? Who is going to be that first guinea pig that is going to allow me to do that for their real estate investing, wholesaling business? And that's where I found someone in Detroit that actually turned into my client and started actually paying me for my services, because that first client ended up closing about 24 properties that he acquired. So that was crazy. And that was pretty awesome for me to really find out that was a thing. And through an entire 9 month, it was about 5 months, 5 to 6 months of running his first trial, basically. He acquired 24 properties from people that submitted a form online, from people that actually had the intention and raised their hand. Hey, I want to do this. Yeah. And then they give us the information, the address of the property. We call back right away. We ask them all the questions necessary to understand their motivation, condition of the property, the time frame of they want to sell, and how much they want for a cash offer, or what's their bottom line. And they ended up, going and logging up that contract. That was done all through digital marketing and worked in Detroit. So I started amplifying that to work in other places, not just necessarily in Detroit, even though Detroit was my local market at the time.
Okay. So say somebody wanted to hire you. You're going to go generate the leads. How far along the process do you go? You have your team contact them. Does it get all the way to under contract and you reassign the contract, or do you hand the leads off before that?
Yeah. So, you know what, that will be a super valuable offer if I go and get on the contract and reassign the contract. No, because otherwise we'll be just running my own company. Right?
You'll be your wholesaler, just like everybody else.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. But one thing that 100% I've been considering is doing JVs with these people where they lock up the deal and we cover half and half or something like that, and then we JV on the deal. However, the way that we work right now, the way that we actually are currently working, and the way that we add value to our clients is that we make sure that we establish a campaign with their own brand, with their own name. Let's say, for example, you are Glenn Sutherland, the real estate investor, or Glenn Sutherland home buyers, something like that.
Yeah.
And we make sure that we establish a brand really quickly. Get you a Facebook page if you have one, that's cool. Your website or a landing page that we will build everything for you. So it's a done for you service. And we will start actually getting these campaigns strategized in the back end of Facebook, in the back end of Google, so that when we start launching the campaign, all right, there is going to be a landing page where people that will see your advertising, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, or Google, will go inside and they will make sure to see something that will allow them to make a quick decision, which means it's going to say what they actually want to do, which is get a solution from whatever is happening in their life, about their property, about financial situation, about inherited, and they can't handle the property, or there's a lot of repairs and they need to move out of state. So we're going to touch on their pain points, and we're going to make sure that these motivated sellers see a landing page that is going to call action to do something. Usually is to get a cash offer, immediately, instantaneously, right away, or within the next 24 hours, so that they can sell their property as is. Okay, so there's going to be a landing page with a picture showing the type of audience that we have. Usually, this type of audience are, regular. The average American that is actually owning a property and kind of going through some sort of situation. So, or maybe a little bit older, and we're making sure that we are catering to these people and that they understand that there's going to be something that adds value once they submit the form or submit the survey. And in this form of survey, we ask them just very specific questions very quickly so that we can grab their information and we can quickly follow up with them. And that is going to be what's the address of a property, what's your contact information, name, email, number. And we also make sure that they go through a second step where we're going to ask them a few more questions. And actually, if you want to check out one example of how we actually model our things, if you can check out opendoor.com. They have a very, very, very similar process. However, sometimes we do have a landing page that right away asks them several questions, such as how does the property look like? Why are you looking to sell a property? When are you looking to sell a property? What type of property is it? And so we ask them these questions so that they have some sort of friction. And once they have some sort of friction, we will get rid of the tire kickers, the people that really are not wanting to do any business or even considering working with us. And once that's done, it goes to another landing page where they will be able to book an appointment by themselves. Now, a lot of people may not book an appointment by themselves because they're in a rush, or they go and keep doing whatever they're doing. But a lot of people, they do, because they do take the time to read and everything. And those are even hotter. All right, because once they book a self appointment, then we ask them even a couple more questions, and they give us that information, and we send that to our client right away. But we also have inside sales agents, which are agents that will make sure to follow up with these people and will book phone call appointments or confirm these appointments for our real estate investors or wholesaling clients, or do a live transfer because they want to talk right away. If for example, if you want to see the messages that are being sent out whenever an appointment comes in, there's a Twitter page here that we actually have, where we check the live, where we send the live notices of the appointments. I believe is Hazel Media live feed or something like that, or something related that we send on Twitter. And then so that people can have an instant gratification of, I receive a lead, but also have an instant action of, like, I need to make sure to follow up really quickly because these people may lose their concentration, their attention, and may not be able to pick up later because they get back to their work, or I don't know what's happening with their life. Something is happening. So you need to get a hold of these people right away. That's why we have this automation that goes right after that lead is generated, where we send a text message to that person. So for example, a motivated seller is on the car or on the work, right? Really having a difficult time with their property and need to sell their property. Well, they're going to be in the work. They're going to be seeing that in Instagram and Facebook, be like, oh my God, these people can actually help me. I didn't know that I can do this, that I can sell my property as is. I was considering the whole time a realtor. I don't need to go through a realtor. All right, probably I'm going to submit the information right here, and let's see what happens. But then this person might go back to work after 5 minutes or 10 minutes of them taking a break on social media. That's why you have to be able to get them instantaneously once they have their phone in their hand. So they have their phone in their hand. That's when you want to get them, right? Because like it's ringing. So you want to be able to get them, call back to back 2 to 3 times to get these people on the phone. Our agents also do this exercise as well. And we get them on the phone so that there's a micro commitment, all right, of talking with us. And at the same time, if you're able to get them on the phone, it's a good opportunity to really find out why they're looking to sell their property, to really find out what's going on. Put your sales consultant hat on instead of just like a salesy situation, and make sure that you provide a solution for these people, because a lot of these people are not really like in a position to sell their property cash. Probably they're in a position of selling their property on terms, or probably
which is usually a more ideal for Canadians.
Yeah, exactly. Or probably they are in a position where their house, I mean, they are motivated, they are going through situations, but their house is just good looking, like it's pretty, and what do you do with that? So you probably want to take advantage of partner up with a realtor, or maybe you're licensed, or maybe you can do some sort of novations agreement, or something along the line. Something there might be able to possibly happen if you have the mindset of being someone that wants to really help and solve a problem. That's what we work, and that's how we work. So yeah, we take it all the way to that point where we deliver that lead to the person, to our clients. We put that in a nice CRM, in a nice organized client relationship management software, so that they can fully see where the lead is, what the lead is talking to. They can talk through the CRM, text message, email, things like that. But at the same time, the CRM is also helping us following up automatically with these leads, which means, hey, the CRM is sending a reminder to the lead. The CRM is following up through an email saying, hey, are you still there? Hey, we received a message the other day. Let's talk about selling your house. And it goes all the way to 6 months to 1 year. And that's what actually reactivates people. But at the same time, that's what actually gets the response rate high.
You mentioned, I heard you say agents in there. So you found this lead, and when they're making the phone call, is it the customer's agents or is it your agents?
So this inside sales agents are our clients.
Okay.
So sorry, my bad.
Your employee or your people.
My team members. All right. So these people that are trained in talking real estate, trained in talking with sellers, even with buyers, and these people are usually they have one job. They have a job to book appointments or live transfers, but ultimately qualify these individuals and write down those notes and send those notes to our clients, because they're going to be the fast point of contact. A lot of clients, they are busy or on the road or on site or something like that, and they can't really get to the phone real quick. So that's why these agents are pretty huge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good, because then I understand them. And it's like pre-qualified leads, and they've booked appointments, and then people like me or somebody from my team would go and actually talk to the people to actually close it up.
Absolutely.
How do you charge people for this? Is it like a flat monthly service? Is it a pay per lead? How do you bill this to people?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we have, we have 12 months on a, money savings kind of program where basically they can pay for entire 12 months, and they will be basically saving about 40% or so of the entire thing. But usually what it is we go on a marketing stamina commitment, which means that people need to understand that they need to give a marketing channel, regardless of whatever you choose, whether you go, whether you do Facebook ads, Google ads, direct mail, cold calling, whatever that is. You have to make sure that the right marketing channel, that you're going to give it a shot, you at least need to give it a shot for 12 weeks, which is 3 months. Otherwise, it's absolutely ridiculous, and it doesn't make sense to just start a marketing channel 1 month and then shut it off the next month. There's not going to be consistency. And also, usually marketing channels need this type of compound effect so that it has consistency. All right. So most of the time, I see people saying that, yeah, I want to try out something for 1 month. But what you don't understand is that for the first month, it's going to take you effort to adapt, to make sure that everything's configured, working, set up properly, that you're talking with sellers and that you're following up with them, and that you're talking with them about cash offer, and you probably are going to give them offers. You probably are going to have to negotiate. You probably are going to have to follow up with some in 1 week, or maybe in 2 weeks. Maybe some of them, they're not, they're in a position where they want to sell, but they have to sell in like 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out. So you want to make sure that you give enough time to a marketing channel, such as 3 months, regardless of the marketing channel, so it can work, so it can actually work and give you a result. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense. So marketing stamina of 12 weeks.
Yep.
And then after that, it goes month to month. All right. So we first, of course, make sure that they get into the 12 weeks. And then after that, we'll go month to month. Or if they'll prefer, we can also do the 12-month money savings that we currently have. But here's one thing, Glenn, we actually do an over deliver for our clients. Okay. And I didn't talk about this. We have a real estate investor, wholesaler, and creative finance expert in our program. He is someone that has closed in his years of real estate, close to 10 million of assignment fees. All right. And this guy has been working as an acquisition manager, as a closer for other companies, and has also coached different businesses and wholesaling and real estate investment businesses on sales, on closing, on negotiation, deal structuring, creative financing, or making sure that they can lock up as many deals as possible, and getting also a higher return for their investment because they have the sales skills. So he goes into our program, and this is part of this, where we'll go every single week and we will cover sales, negotiation, deal structuring, follow-up, leaving an everlasting impression with the seller, how to talk to sellers, how to handle objections, how to uncover objections before they ever come, creative financing. All these things, we cover them in a week-to-week basis, because we understand that even though that lead generation is required for your business to grow, sales is the other part, because once you have a lead, and if you don't know how to talk with this person, all right, that it's in a financial situation or something's going on, and you don't know how to structure the deal, you don't know how to negotiate, you don't know how to really, really make sure you add that value, and you're just trying to quickly, what are the repairs? Tell me about this, and you're just going in that mindset where you're just trying to not have a conversation with them, but rather be treat them like a product. you're going to have a lot of trouble closing deals, because people want to like you, and people want to trust that you're the best, even though they're in a very, I want to say, motivated situation. There might be other also competitors that do treat them the way that they deserve, and they give them the options that they deserve. So they will prefer to do business with the competition, maybe because maybe the competition also has a Google ad, or maybe a Facebook ad, or maybe they cold called, or maybe they have whatever that is. So we make sure that we help you with that conversion, the conversion skill, right? So lead generation and conversion are huge parts of your acquisition business. And then once you have that in the contract, yes, you can go and do this position, which is another animal, right?
That's
another
awesome.
Animal here.
If people want to get a hold of you to check out this service, or sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. You want to provide your website or contact information to find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually are called Hustle Media, but Hustle Media is the name of the company that we have, hustlemedia.com. If you were to pronounce it, when it started to begin, when we began with the company, it was Hustle Media. So because we were a team of hustlers, like people that go at it, try to find a way to make it work, and then create systems to make a hustle something smarter. And so you will find Hustle Media, HESEL media.com, and that's where you will find everything about us. Also, as a matter of fact, Glenn, we released a podcast recently called Online Hustlers, where I'm bringing in like diamond type of players that have done millions in transactions or added a tremendous amount of value to the real estate investing community and wholesaling community. I'm talking about people like Steve Trang, Pace Morby. I'm talking about people like Sean Terry and things like that. I'm going to be bringing them in so that I can extract really those diamond nuggets. I call them diamond nuggets. And that you can absolutely learn how your hustle, you can turn it into an actual business, because a lot of people start this way as a hustle. I mean, start this business as a hustle, side hustle. I'm trying to grind it here, trying to make it work. And so you're going to find Online Hustlers as well, but it's hustlemedia.com. That's our website where we provide our service.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it, Esteban.
Glenn, I am so glad talking to another fellow Canadian. Where is it that you're living right now, man? I'm living in Miami. Where are you?
Miami sounds a lot warmer. I'm outside of Waterloo now. So
Waterloo
Ontario.
Now?
Yeah.
You're still. Okay. So you're doing virtual. Everything is virtual.
Everything's virtual. I've been buying, and I have not seen any of them myself.
Love that. I love that. Do you use a lot of wholesalers?
I use a lot of wholesalers. I do. I talk to wholesalers every day. Yeah,
love that, man.
A lot of wholesalers. It's one of those things. Your business is it sparks a lot of ideas too, right?
Yes,
ways to go. Well, thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me, man. I'd love to connect with you even further. And if you can find me on Instagram at Estenick, so ESTENICK. I'll be more than happy to answer any question as well. And I'll be posting there about, value podcasts and about, other things regarding real estate investing and wholesaling virtually and things like that. And I'm going to connect with Glenn right after this.
Awesome. Thanks again.
Thank you.